This is it right here. You know what it is? Another strong build. I'm looking at Frost right here. This is Frost in his truest form. You're talking about that six pack? Yes. Rhino has nothing on this dude. And then make sure if y'all haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to follow up as far as with my next video or in my next stream whenever I plan to do it. Let's get into this, man. When it comes to Frost, with my strongest build for this guy, it comes down to one ability. Now, I could use my 2, but this build doesn't require my 2 or my 3 or just my first. Nah. It's just gonna come down to one ability only for endgame purposes. You need Transient and Blind Rage to get that strength of 254. Alright? Streamline just for the efficiency tap. Quick Thinking to go along with Prime Flow, and of course Hunter Adrenaline. So of course once I get damage, I get the energy in return. Once I get the energy, Quick Thinking will be able to do its work. Vitality in this, so my health will be up there so that it could take advantage of Hunter Adrenaline. And of course I have Stretch in there. Just enough range to cover the area. Got Handspring in there, just in case I get knocked down, I get right back up. When you get knocked down in this game, especially when it comes to end game, when you go like 4 or 5 hours into survival, when you go down and you're trying to get up, you're practically dead, because one shot will kill you from a bombard. Got Energy Siphon in there just so that I can replenish my energy over time. Now, when it comes to dealing with enemies, level 175, you're gonna want to have this build so that you can strip off their goddamn armor. You're gonna want to. Because once they hit you, it's like, man, it's practically over. So once they're frozen, you do what is required. Now when that happens, you just smack them up with your melee weapon. And as you see, practically me using Avalanche, it strips off their armor. Once their armor is gone, you have a build with Viral in it, and as long as you have a whole bunch of damage, they are just sitting corpses, frozen corpses. Alright? Now if you look into the build, not just the build itself, but as far as with his abilities, you see the Avalanche. Armor reduction at base is 40, but when you have enough power strength on, 254 is more than enough. You go over 100%. That's all that is required. You see the radius and you see the damage. Those are not important. You need to have an armor reduction of at least 100%. Once you have that, you're good to go. And of course the damage right there is 3,810. So you're good on that. And I don't know why my synapse is going all crazy, but it is what it is. Now, even with the synapse, depending on which weapon you have, you want to have a whole bunch of crit on it. Because even if you don't have a melee weapon that does a whole bunch of damage on the hit, but you want to have a weapon that does a lot of damage as far as with the crit. So since you have that, you smack them up right quick. And remember, you only have like a few seconds. So I give it like at least 5 to 7 seconds once their armor has been stripped. Because you have a period, like a window to do what you need to do before their armor comes back. And then you have to do Avalanche yet again. I failed to mention that part right here as far as within his abilities. Alright? So when you go to Avalanche, it says it right there. As far as with duration, at base is 8 seconds. So practically off of my build, you have at least 5.8. So you're talking about 6 seconds. You have 6 seconds to mess up them enemies as much as possible. And then once the 6 seconds have elapsed, their armor will start coming back. So it just comes down to you being efficient, clearing out those enemies before their armor comes back. That's practically my build as far as with Avalanche when it comes to me using Frost in endgame survival. Not only is it doing one thing of killing the enemies early on and in mid game, but when it comes to end game, when it comes down to my Frost, Not only am I dealing damage to them, but more importantly, I'm taking away their armor, because they have so much armor. When it comes down to Grenier, you don't have to worry about the Infested, because the Infested don't have any armor, and Corpus, they normally depend on shield. This build is strictly just going up against Grenier that has a lot of armor, especially in the Void. Frost can easily take it out in one cast. It doesn't take multiple casts, because once you have this build, all it takes is one. You just need 254. That is it. If you want to stack more power strength, if you have the mod capacity, go right ahead. But all you need is 254. 254, 145, 75, and 73. Those are the percentages when you're talking about power strength, efficiency, range, and duration. That's all it is when it comes down to Frost in endgame. He makes it look so cool and also so easy at the same time. Frost is that